This is a extremely serious issue. Obviously, FAA grounding all of these flights. We're going to have much more analysis on it. Jessica, you're staying with us on set here for this important topic. Michael Boyd also joins us as well, Chairman, Boyd Group International, live from Denver, Colorado. Thank you again, sir, for joining us. You know, there's a number of different angles here. I mean, I guess the three that come to mind are the regulatory issues, the airlines, and of course, Boeing itself, not to mention the battery issue. Now, before we get started, we did contact Boeing earlier, and we did get a response. We gave 9 questions to Boeing. Part of it was about the financials and the concerns about that, but also about the batteries itself. And I want to read you some of the comments from the response from Boeing, which was just a couple hours ago. They say, quote, "There are no plans to suspend 787 production or sales, and there's been no cancellations to date attributed to those issues. In terms of financial impact, they say that will be discussed at their upcoming earnings call at the end of the month." And also, when asked about the batteries as to how they came about selecting the batteries, they said that the battery was selected because of design issues and also performance issues, and they chose it because it was best suited to fit those concerns. And, sir, I want to ask you, has the FAA taken the right step to ground the aircraft?
I think they have now, but they're following what the Japanese did. And remember, they certified this airplane, so they have to do this. You know, this airplane has met all the performance requirements it was supposed to, but when you have something that might be a fire, might cause a danger to the customers, you put the airplane on the ground till you fix it.
And Mr. Boyd, what can you tell us about the batteries themselves and how many other types of aircraft have experimented with them? I understand Airbus is also looking at this type of battery. What is sort of the perfect balance with their usage?
Well, I think that the technology is such, how much power can we get out of as light a unit as possible? You know, that's the name of the game in designing an airplane. The lighter it is, the farther it can go and the less fuel it burns. But this is relatively new technology. The FAA knew from the beginning that there were issues with this, and apparently some of those issues were not fully met, or at least it appears that way.
So how long do you think it will take for these batteries and these associated issues to be resolved, putting these aircraft back into circulation?
Well, it could be something where they find a fix that could be done in 2 hours and they bring airplanes in, do it as they go, or it could be something where it's a whole redesign. In any case, I think it'll be something in the neighborhood of probably a couple of weeks before they find something, but once they find it, it'll be fixed very quickly, and 2 months from now, this will all be behind us, I believe.
Michael, you work with a lot of airline executives, and there has to be some significant concerns. Jessica brought up the issue of aircrafts being taken out of service, but I want to ask you your opinion. Do you think Boeing has handled this situation correctly thus far?
I think they've handled it correctly thus far, but the problem is they built an airplane that has a problem, and they're dealing with it as best they can. I don't think they've fallen down on the job, except they have an airplane that had a fire every now and then. But I think overall, going forward, Boeing isn't going to be affected by this. It's a good airplane, and I think once they fix this problem and a few other glitches, we're not going to remember it.
You know what? There's a lot of experts out there, and a lot of things I've read, while most people have short memories, I mean, this problem is significant, and there has not been many instances where entire aircrafts or fleets of aircrafts have been grounded. Are consumers and are flyers going to forget about this?
I think so. The average person flying doesn't really notice what's on an airplane. And remember, this is abundance of caution. United Airlines, which is one of the best in the world, came out 3 days ago and said they thought the airplane was safe. These are good people, they know. So I think overall, consumers aren't going to have a problem with it. The airplane performs well. They're not going to lose sales over this. And I think, again, it's one of those things, it's a great news story now and a valid one. But 2 months from now, after they fix the battery problem, we're not going to remember it.
When the the 777, or I should say the Airbus A380 went into service, there were some delays and there were some issues with the engines. And some of the airlines, granted it was a new aircraft, did ask for financial remediation. Is it too early to talk about that?
Oh, no, no, no. You better believe that when that 787 arrived in Chicago the other night from Warsaw, it wasn't 10 minutes before their lawyers were on the phone asking Boeing for money. This is going to cost Boeing dearly because, number one, airlines are losing revenue. In the case of All Nippon, having 17 airplanes out of your fleet is very, very damaging. And they're going to be going to Boeing and saying we want money in various formats.
Michael Boyd, chairman of the Boyd Group International, thank you very much for your expertise on this very important topic that affects flyers, safety, and of course, airlines and the company Boeing itself. Jessica, thank you as well.
Pleasure.